Hi everybody, welcome to ECE 109, Social and Emotional Development. We are now in week 4 of our course. Just a few announcements. We have our final week, and as always, be sure you have everything turned in by Sunday at midnight. So really watch the due dates this week. Also, be sure to go into Grade Report and let me know if there's anything missing. Maybe an assignment that you've turned in, but points aren't coming up for it. Every once in a while, I'll have one slip through. Or if you've made up an assignment, like a quiz, sometimes the points don't automatically go into the grade book. I'll need to do that manually. So be sure to let me know. And our next course will begin Monday. It's ECE 111, Language and Literacy. Probably one of my favorites again, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So you can look forward to the next course. Right now, we need to do a little bit of our content for week 4. We're going to talk a little bit about death, discipline, and friendships. 3 very different things, but very relevant topics for our course. First of all, let's talk a little bit about helping children understand death. This is something that children will naturally go through, but there are some things that we can do as teachers and as parents to help them through that. First of all, teach that death is a part of life, that it's a natural thing. Parents, we often want to avoid talking about it. It's a hard subject to approach. And the good news is, though, that it gets easier with time. The more you talk about it, the easier it is to talk about. So what may start off as a very awkward conversation can become very easy conversation with your children or with your students. So that's the point that you want to get to. You can talk about wilting flowers, changing seasons, the death of a family pet, which they are inevitably going to experience. And this is really an opportunity to talk about it. Also, visiting elderly friends or relatives to show children that aging is a very normal thing. Also, be honest. Present the information in a straightforward manner with age-appropriate information. So, of course, you do want to think about their age, what developmental level they're on. So, saying Granddad died last night. If we start with that, avoid saying he went to sleep, because then you can actually cause the children to be afraid to go to sleep, and we don't want that to happen. Or that he's gone away, because this leaves a big question mark. Where did he go? These terms leave children wondering if they'll die if they go to sleep, or if the person is maybe going to come back. So try using the phrase, and I really like this one. Their bodies stopped working. So we can talk about the heart stop, and it's more of a physical explanation, but just like them understanding that a car doesn't work anymore, they can sort of wrap their heads around the idea of the body isn't working anymore. Don't delay telling about death. Delay can do more harm than good. If you wait, someone else might tell your child. They might find out by overhearing a conversation or being told by another child, say at school. So you want them to learn the news from you. So it's always a good idea to not put that off. Next, answer any questions they might have. And they're going to have a lot, so be ready for that. Recognize that they do have fears that can be scary to children. If your child expresses fear about seeing the body or going to a funeral, don't force it. They don't have to go to that, especially if they're younger. Comfort and reassure your child following a death of somebody that he knows, but we don't need to force them to see the casket. That can be a very scary experience for a child. Let them see you grieve. It's okay to see you go through your emotions, to cry. Again, it's almost a teaching experience about emotions as well. Cherish the memories. Continue to talk about the loved one who died. Look through photo albums. Talk about funny things the deceased talk about pleasant memories, which can sometimes be a blessing. Children take their cues from us. So in this event, we also want to be their role models. Show them that death and grief are actual parts of life. So as you're going through this as a video, you're welcome to stop at this point. And I know some of you will be typing up your summary. And I'd like for you to answer this question for me. What have you witnessed that helped a child understand or deal with death? If you can think of a personal example, that would be great. And just be sure and put that in your summary so we can share that experience. Next, let's talk about discipline. Discipline, totally different subject. What is discipline? Discipline is providing training that develops self-control, character, orderliness, and efficiency. It is to instruct or educate, to prepare by instruction, or to train, to love, guide, nurture, and support, provide strategies that build community and relationships, focuses on self-control and sustained learning, and viewing behavioral occurrences as opportunities to teach and to support. So I really want you to understand the positive aspects of discipline, what we can learn from it. Negative discipline, next. Negative discipline, we would use the term punishment, which is punishing only decreases undesired behaviors, but doesn't increase desired behaviors. So we're making them stop the bad behavior, but we're not talking to them about what good behavior they could replace that with and why the behavior is not the best one to choose. It models aggression in a way. It's kind of a bully type situation. Humiliates and demoralizes the child, can damage self-esteem. We create this vicious cycle of punishment, anger, resentment, acting out in the children, and we don't want to get caught up in that. Sometimes it's very easy to get up in a punishment mode, and I've seen parents do the same thing before, just with raised voices, with yelling. They get so used to yelling. It's the normal speech for them, and the children just eventually tune it out. It's so normal, it has no effectiveness at all, and it becomes a form of punishment, just screaming. It can destroy relationships, leads to other emotional and behavior problems. So we do want to focus on positive types of discipline versus these negative types of discipline. So here's some positive ones. Guidelines to achieving constructive discipline. And you probably heard this first one quite a bit. Catch the child being good. Respond to positive efforts and reinforce that good behavior, the things that they're doing correctly. Encourage children to see their own strength. Help them build a positive image or a positive self-image. Manipulate the surroundings if needed. Keep him from frequently having to confront the problem he is incapable of solving. So if you see a child struggling with an issue, we don't want to set them up so that they're constantly having to deal with this issue. If possible, we want to help the surroundings so that we can avoid it until he's a little bit older and may be able to deal with it as they learn more about their emotions, as they learn more about leadership. Express interest in the child's activities. Children naturally try to involve adults in their activities, but adults are often annoyed at being bothered. So please know that your attention is so important and you're interested in what they're doing, even if it's the smallest thing. It can bring great joy to them. Use physical restraint. In case of losing control, the child must be removed from the scene to keep him from hurting himself or others. Now, if you happen to be in a center, sometimes they do have people that can come into the classroom to help contain a situation. And by physical restraint, sometimes that could be something as small as sitting on the ground and holding on to the child, more of a hug, to try to help them get their feelings in check. And some of you, if you work in a public school, you'll receive training on the proper way to do this. It's not to hurt the child, it's to keep the child safe and those around them safe as well. So this is kind of a last resort when needed. Friends are the family we choose for ourselves. I love that saying, and you guys can probably remember or have examples of this in your life. So on to friendship skills, which we've talked about in our Pinterest boards just the last week or so. I've seen some great examples. Arrange plenty of opportunities for your child to meet lots of people. Try not to just keep them at home. Get them into those situations where they can branch out and meet different people. Children learn from seeing how you treat your friends, and it's important as adults that we be careful with sarcasm and with language. You have a way that you speak around your friends, even as adults, and a way that you speak around your children. There should be a difference there. Children can't understand sarcasm and can sometimes keep it as, or think of it as you're being mean to your friends, and we don't want to role play that. Children find it easier to get along with others if they can do the same things together. For example, they might be swimming together in the swimming pool. They might be doing art. They might be doing some other physical activity, baseball, football, and sometimes this really helps. Play games with them so they learn about cooperating and considering others. Read stories about friends. And I saw several different examples of books that could be used to teach friendship and also emotions in your Pinterest boards. They were really good. A little more about friendship skills. Have other children over one at a time when your child is young, because sometimes they can get a little overwhelmed by a whole lot of people all at once, especially if you have a shyer child. When children are first learning to play together, have something planned for them to do so they're not just stumped. Maybe you have an activity planned. Teach your child to smile and greet other people, but don't force them to do this. So it's encouraging, but not forcing. Help them to show interest in what others are doing and give compliments to their playmates, so they learn about giving people compliments, and it becomes second nature for them. Help them to show interest in or to praise your child for being friendly and caring about others. We want to reinforce that. Help children to use words to say what they need and feel. An example is, I would like a turn with that, or would you like to play in the playhouse with me? So they can learn to request something that they're wanting in the play realm, right? And lastly, we're down to our questions and concerns page. I know that was a fairly quick lecture, but we have so many things going on this week, and I wanted you to have a way to free up a little extra time so that you can hopefully have a great holiday week this week. So as always, it's been great having you guys in